Good morning everyone. This will be my video lecture in NSTP 1 and today is September 25. It's Saturday morning. So we will start with another topic as part of my video lecture today. So I told you before that we will be using this book and also the Constitution, the 1987 Constitution of our country, because we will be referring every now and then about specific provisions that will concern about the government that we have and also your rights as citizens of this republic. Last time I asked you to memorize about the preamble. So by this time I know that you already know or you have already memorized in verbatim the preamble of our Constitution. Now, at the start of the preamble, it states that we, the sovereign Filipino people, we, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of divine providence. So, you have, there is the word sovereign, sovereign. So, what do you understand by the word sovereign? Why are the Filipino people considered as sovereign? What do we mean by the word sovereign? When we talk of this word sovereign, we are referring to us people as the powerful component in our society. So when we say sovereign, we are powerful, we have the power. Power to what? Power to govern our country. We have the power to govern our country. And how do we show or how do we manifest this power? Through the right to vote. And this one is otherwise known as suffrage. Suffrage is the right to vote, and you can find this in Article 5 of the Constitution. Article 5 of the Constitution. The reason why we are considered sovereign is because of this power. Our power to choose the officials whom we want to put in government so that they would represent the interests of the people. That is what is meant. That is the reason why also why the Philippines or our country is considered as a what? Democratic republic. So in Article 2, you could find in Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, what does it say? It says that the Philippines is a democratic and republican state. The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. So what kind of government do we have? It's a democratic republic. Now that will be your assignment. Assignment number 3 would be this. Assignment number 3 would be, what do we mean when we say that the Philippines is a democratic republic? I will not be dealing deeply into this principle because I want you to read some of the materials which would discuss why the Philippines is considered a democratic republic. Now, of course, there are two very important words there that you have to define, democracy and also republican. I repeat, the terms that you have to know there in order for you to arrive at the principle or the notion that the Philippines is a democratic republic is you have to see, of course, what is a democracy, no? And what is a republican state. So what do we mean by a democratic republic? No? So I am, of course, corollary to this, because we are a democratic republic, the people are considered what? The people are considered supreme over the military. No, supreme meaning really we are powerful because we are considered supreme in terms of wielding the power that we have, no, compared to the military. And you could find that particular section in section 3, article 2 of the Constitution. It says here, if I may read it to you, civilian authority is at all times, imagine that, civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military. So what is the purpose of the military then? No? Itong mga sunda-sundalo na yan. You go to the next statement and it says, the armed forces of the Philippines is the protector. Remember, is the protector of the people and the state. So you could always invoke Section 3, Article 2, which is also very important as one of the principles of what we call democratic republic. Now it goes on by saying that, of course, its goal, no, we are referring to the military. Its goal is to restore the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. So that is the goal of the military. So I repeat, your assignment number 3 would be explain why the Philippines is considered as a democratic republic. Okay? That is assignment number 3. Now, I will proceed now to my topic, which is under Article 5. What is Article 5 again? I have given you earlier. Article 5 has something to do with suffrage. Suffrage would be the right to vote. No? This is the one that you will be exercising come, when is the next election gonna be? When? It will be on May 9, 2022. No, so by next year. That is why the COMELEC, what's the COMELEC? What do you mean by COMELEC? The Commission on Elections. No, it's one of the constitutional commissions enshrined also under the 1987 Constitution. So this Constitution is also very important. No, if I do not know if the LRI has still a copy of the Constitution. So if you have that, better buy one, and it goes hand in hand with your textbook. No, you should have your own textbook because we'll be discussing the different government instrumentalities through this textbook. No? So we go back to the right to vote, suffrage. No? I suppose that you're already 18 years old, correct? If you are 18 years old or above, you are now considered as a, what do we mean? If you are 18 years old or above, you are considered as a what? Because you can vote, you are considered as a qualified voter. No? The minimum age is 18 or above. So at least 18 years old, you can already vote by virtue of Article 5 of the Constitution. But that is not all why you become a qualified voter. Another condition is for you to become a qualified voter, you should have resided in the Philippines. How long have you resided in the Philippines for you to become a qualified voter? You know? Well, you have to read again in your constitution, no? for you to become a qualified voter, so, okay, let me reiterate, no? Qualified voter, meaning you can already vote, no? Qualified voter. Remember the word qualified, no? So the conditions are at least 18 years old or above, no? It's not only 18 years old. 18 years old or above. Then how about the residence requirement? Residence meaning you should have resided in the Philippines for how long? You should have resided in the Philippines for how long? At least 1 year. No? 1 year. For at least 1 year. So that's the residence requirement. At least a year that you should have stayed or you should have domiciled in our country, the Philippines. But that is not all. There is another requirement. Now, if you intend to vote in a particular district or locality or municipality, the requirement here is, of course, if you want to vote in Manawag, you should have resided in the locality or the place where you are residing for at least 6 months, no? 6 months. So you have to be very careful here, no? Where you will vote, say for instance, Manawag is your place of the place where you will vote, no? On May 9, 2022. You should have resided here for at least 6 months. So 6 months elsewhere plus 6 months in Manawag, then that will make you a qualified voter because you have already complied with the 1 year residence requirement. Clear? Now, you may ask, is that all? No, is that all? Those who could vote are only people who are 18 years old, have resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year, and have resided in the locality or district where they intend to vote for at least 6 months. No? So you remember 1 year and 6 months. Okay, 1 year in the Philippines, anywhere, 6 months in the place where you would like to cast your vote. No, is that all? Are they the only ones who can be considered as qualified voters? The answer is no. There are people who do not reside in the Philippines but can vote, no? And they are the Filipino citizens who are domiciled abroad or overseas. Now the law, yung batas na applicable for them would be what? The WAVA, no? Overseas Absentee Voting Act of 2003. The law is RA, you should remember RA would be Republic Act 9189 as amended by, this one is already amended, no? As amended by RA 10590. So I'd like you to know these two laws which govern what we call the Overseas Absentee Voters Act, no? Or Absentee Voting Act of 2003. Now that will be your assignment number 4. You have to summarize RA 9189 and RA 10590. No? Now, if you are an overseas voter, supposing that your father or your mother is living abroad, so how can they vote? No? They have to register in the embassy or consulate. Embassy or consulate, I think they have to, there is a registration form, no, that they have to fill out. They just have to present their Philippine passport, no? So you have to register in the embassy or in the consulate for purposes of the voting requirement. Now, you might be asking, can they also vote for mayors? Can they also vote for congressmen? The answer there is no. The absentee voters can only vote for, take this down, they can only vote for president, they can only vote for vice president, they can only vote for senators, and they can only vote for the party list representatives. Those are the people whom absentee voters can vote only. They cannot vote for mayors, they cannot vote for governors, they could not vote for district representatives or their congressmen. No, so what are they going to bring in the embassy or consulate in case they would like to cast their votes as Filipino citizens? No, they could just bring their passport, no, their Philippine passport, or if there is none, if they do not have any passport yet, they could just bring the their birth certificate, no, their birth certificate, but the birth certificate should be uh, the one by the Statistics Authority, PSA, no, Philippine Statistics Authority certified. Okay, so do I make myself clear with that? No, so we are powerful because we have the right to put the people in government. And these people now, the officials that we put in government, will represent us for all our interests. So that is the essence of what we call a Republican state. No? That's why we are considered as a Republican state, because we can choose the people whom we want our government to be run. Republican would pertain to, you see this word public, it's always a public matter. No, it's always a public matter and not a private matter, because the state is governed by the people and not by a few number of people only. Okay, so that is the right of suffrage. Okay, your assignment in your book will be to read. I think I have gone through with the introduction already. We can start with this book, particularly chapter 1, no, on the concept of society, culture, and governance. So I'd like you to start reading your book, this book. Anyway, chapter 1 is very short. It's an overview of what society is, of what culture is, and what governance is. When we talk of governance, of course, we are talking about the outcome, not the outcome of what our government does to us. Okay? So I think that is part 1 of my lecture. We will proceed with part 2 in a short while. Okay, thank you.